Ready? Call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone. This nice summer night of 88 degrees according to Mike Nice.
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimously. Also approval of the minutes. Consent items 5A and B, any questions? Lonnie?
Second.
Paul, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. Is this just, okay, we'll go down to new business, Salvation Army Heat Share Agreement 13A, Joe.
This is the annual agreement that the city enters into with Salvation Army when we send out our winter rule notices. We include some information from Salvation Army. Anybody in the community can donate towards Salvation Army. 85% of the money that is donated from residents of St. James comes back to the city in the form of assistance to those individuals that are in need. They do have a breakdown based on income, and then the maximum dollar amount that anybody can receive for the year is $400. The other 15% goes into their general fund, and some of that may come back, more than 85% may come back to the community based on how much money they get from other communities and what the needs are for the scheme.
It's 85% per applicant or per family.
It's 85%.
I'm sorry, the $400, I'm sorry.
No, the 85% is the 85% of dollars that are donated to them.
Yeah, I understand that the $400 is maximum.
The $400, it's based on the need of the family when they're being threatened of disconnection or shut off.
We've done this before.
We've done this
Every year.
annually, yes.
We do that.
Yep.
Is this a
Motion.
switch on resolution? Okay. Motion, need a motion to that effect. Lonnie and Mike, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. 13B, resolution for Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership, Small Cities Development Program funding, Molly.
Good evening. As you know, right now we are working on a Small Cities Development Program, acronym SCDP. This particular program is scheduled to close at the end of this year. In your packet and before you on your spots tonight, I put a colored version because it's a little bit easier to see. You can see the applications that have been completed as part of this grant, and the blue dots signify those applications that are waiting. So as you can see in the map, there are several applications waiting in St. James at different locations. For this reason, we have looked at another small cities application for what would end up being 2014. However, the application process is a multi-step process, 3 to be exact. The first of those being a planning phase, the second of those being a preliminary application, which is due to the Department of Employment and Economic Development in November, and then the final application is actually submitted in February. In your packet tonight is a proposal that has been prepared by the Southwest Minnesota Housing Partnership for them to again work with us on the preliminary gathering of information and the preparation of the application to deed. The costs are, as you can see there, broken down by each step, and based on the information that we find in each step. So for example, the project planning stage, if they find sufficient information by going out and gathering preliminary applications and other things, then we would move to the second stage, which is the preliminary proposal, as I suggested in the final proposal, or final application, excuse me. In the past, DEED, being the Department of Employment and Economic Development, encouraged us and actually told us that our application would receive much better funding, and they asked us to submit joint applications, which is why you see on this map in front of you and why you see in the proposal the Sleepy Eye reference. Right now our grant is done in conjunction with Sleepy Eye. simply because that was, that was what they were asking for when we prepared our last application. Moving forward with this next application, they have said that's not necessarily something that they're requiring. However, since we've done it in the past and it's been successful for us, they would certainly welcome an application again as a joint venture with Sleepy Eye. Therefore, those costs that you're looking at in that particular proposal would be split. So we would pay for half of them as proposed, and Sleepy Eye would pay for half of them. So it actually ends up working in our favor if in fact we do work with them again. So the resolution before you is for your consideration as to whether we want to go through another planning stage, possibly preliminary application and a final application for some more grant dollars. And I will also mention that right now the grant that we have is only funding owner-occupied properties, which means those houses in residential districts that are lived in, obviously by their owner, not the rental properties. In addition, on our last application, we started out the process by applying for commercial dollars. However, through the whole process, very much like they told us they wanted joint and collaborative applications last time, they also kicked out our commercial portion last time because they said federally they just didn't have the money and or they weren't able to fund the commercial part of applications. This particular go around we would again like to review and possibly submit for some more commercial dollars. The interest there again would be determined based on that planning stage. We would have to go to the businesses and get preliminary applications and things like that, but we find it very important looking up and down Main Street that we again at least try for these dollars if in fact they're available. Any questions? Did I miss anything?
Would there be some reason that Sleepy Eye looks like they had, are they just smaller projects that they had more completed projects there? Looks like they had 8 projects and 7 of them were completed. Was there some mystical reason for that, or?
No. You in your council packet from time to time at the very back, you'll see that FYI that I put in there. So I think maybe they had 7 and we had 8 or vice versa, something like that. As to why they don't have as many waiting, I would presume it's simply because they, again, this hasn't been marketed, we haven't taken anything. It just so happens that here in St. James we have a huge pipeline because apparently, you know, people have asked about it and we've just referred them to them saying, get on the waiting list. So maybe that hasn't occurred in Sleepy Eye. Another thing that I will mention, Don, that when you were looking at your map, I was reminded of, in our past application, we were able to just say the entire, anybody that lived in the city limits is eligible. And one of the things that they're going back to at the state, different from what they did initially, was they're making us define these target areas. So you can see that little boundary that they have preliminarily, based on the applications, identified some target areas. Now, will that remain the same? No. But we should be able to, after this planning process that we go through, we should be able to narrow in on an area that we can show a great need in. So
you think they are gonna have a target area again, or a couple of them?
Yep, they will be. The state actually is telling us we have to have a target area. So both in St. James and in Sleepy Eye will have to identify 1 or 2 smaller areas.
By working with Sleepy Eye, it doesn't compromise how much that we would get as a community. We'd get the same amount if we worked separately.
Potentially. I think the way our application is structured, very much like the last time, is we're able to take the number of preliminary applications, and they use a formula based on how much interest we got, and that's what we submit with. Now the state in the past has kicked back based on the number of dollars that they have. This is what we're going to fund. So
will we be able to take advantage of anything that Sleepy Eye has left over, like we did in the past at this point, at the end of it, if
Right.
they haven't used it up?
That's a great question as well. We will have to execute an agreement with Sleepy Eye very much like we have done in the past. I have no reason to believe it will be any different. They haven't indicated that they have any desire to have it any differently. We've been the lead on the applications, we've done the reporting, we've done the draws, things like that. And we had a meeting here with Sleepy Eye and the Housing Partnership, was it last week maybe, And there's no reason to believe that it would be any different or.
Thank you.
So they're gonna try and get our projects done because we can't submit another one until this one's closed. So the Southwest Housing gonna try and prudently work with, seeing if we can get it. The open cases is done, and mention the open ones done so that we can get the application going forward.
Yes, that is a great question, and that's a great point. Yes, exactly, and we will have to have this one closed out before we're even eligible to go with that final application for the next one, so
And the
yes.
partnership knows that, so they'll be reminding them and prodding them to get it completed, whoever isn't.
Correct.
Okay. Next question on the commercial, excuse me, we
Mhm.
had, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 applications last time. Do you think they're still out there?
I believe we'll probably have to revisit all of those, folks that applied last time, just to get their renewed interest to help our application.
Good question on it.
The projects that aren't done, is it realistic to think that they could be done by the time we need to apply in November?
Yes, it is, which is exactly kind of why we're going through this process. We weren't quite sure that was going to be the case, that we were gonna be through them all. But in speaking with the housing partnership, yes, the idea is they should be able to have them, this project closed in order to move forward with a new application or possibly a new project, so.
And where do you take the 3250 out?
That's a good question. I spoke with, the city manager, and, we would propose to take it out of the same fund that we took it out of last time, and we were going to verify exactly which fund that was, if it was the capital improvement or if it was the liquor store. We just need to verify exactly where that was from.
And when it comes back, is go back in then when we get it back or not? Assume from the program, it's just plain spent to be,
Spent.
That's correct. It's an application
to
fee.
utilize the program, excuse me.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. Okay, Josh and Paul. Oh, you're gonna third it? Any other questions? Anything else? All in favor, signify. I'm sorry, what? Yeah,
It's a rep, yes.
they said discuss and reading. All in favor, signify by show. Thanks, Mike. You're older than me, aren't you? Opposed? 5-0 unanimous. Thanks, Molly. Done.
Just thumbing through this thing here, being we just got it, the water report. And one of the recommendations was the water utilities should continue their efforts to reduce the amount of water loss and unaccounted water. They know that from pumping and treating.
They go by our records that we send into the state. We send in the gallons that we pump from the wells. We send in the gallons that we sell. We try to account for all the water, for all the city buildings, everything. And they take the water loss that we're not actually, like for fires, we can't exactly tell you what it's gonna be, but we're getting a pretty good guesstimate on them. So, flushing hydrants, water breaks, one comment was upgrade of water meters, would definitely help. So they're pretty satisfied. I mean, we're within reason, but there's always something more you can do.
Anything else, Don? Paul? Steve? Joe?
In that report, I'd just like to call your attention to page 104, which states that it's recommended that all undersized mains less than 6 inches in diameter be replaced as the opportunities present themselves. And at the next meeting, the city engineer will be coming in with some recommendations for opportunities in addition to the Highway 4 project. And then another project, which is 10th Avenue North, which I'm sure everybody is very concerned about. It's obvious that our contractor will not get that project done in a timely manner. Just a reminder to teachers that they should be using 11th Avenue North when accessing the school parking lot for teachers. Students should be using 9th Avenue North and then going down Swanson and Jackson to get to the student parking lot. Because if they travel 10th Avenue, there is a strong possibility they could get a ticket because they're not supposed to be traveling on 10th Avenue.
Can you put that on our public access?
We'll get it on public access, we'll also put it on our news
City
alerts
website,
and
okay.
city website
Did they give us any idea of when they thought they were gonna be?
when they get here.
So they're in Blue Earth, Josh, to answer your question, and
Last comment was maybe the end of September.
So being the road is closed, there's no traffic allowed, is that correct, Mark? And they can be ticketed?
They could be,
I would hope that we use some
we're not.
warning.
So the best thing is that with all the stuff that, even just the changes that have taken place in the last week, really caution people for driving on there. We're not enforcing that unless we get complaints, and the complaints would have to come from once they go back to work and there's issues. But we're not enforcing anything, just advising to stay off the road.
And even if you get a complaint, I would think it'd probably warrant a warning.
Yeah, we're not going to be issuing any. Now, Highway 60, just to let you guys know, out Highway 60, they're writing tickets left and right, going back and forth to Butterfield. So that's a whole different situation. So people are being ticketed, and a lot of tickets being issued out there. But we will not be doing that.
We'll also be talking to the school district in regards to notifying the teachers and the students, because it's just out of respect for the people that live up in that area that are having to put up with the dirt and the noise and.
When was the date that they were gonna be done by?
substantial completion was the 26th, the 3rd, Steve? you
23rd of
August.
this month was substantial completion on 10th. They had till sometime in October before they finished the balance of the project.
And then I believe that there was also something written down about a penalty. When does the penalty begin?
The penalty begins the day after they're supposed to be completed. So $500 day
Is
penalty.
that calendar day or just working day?
I think it was calendar days.
Calendar day.
Substantial completion or contract completion?
Substantial completion on 10.
Okay, okay.
You know, it just taking the path of least resistance and then hard to live with there now. They're better off doing what they're doing, you know,
Mhm.
from their point of view.
169.
It's not $500 a day.
Substantially high.
That's all I have.
So, yeah, okay. Coffee hour yesterday. Residents questioned the operation of a street sweeper in the northeast section of town. We told them you gotta go, about going in too much, not enough for it, if you can believe that. But anyhow, so we said, look, you gotta go buy it, back and forth 4 times, and then we'll get it clean.
We were sweeping the whole street, getting ready for seal coating.
Right, yep, I understand that. Yep. And I think we could explain it to him, but I think he understood it after we explained that for him. But you're doing seal coating, and staff does not have a broom that sweeps the streets. So we explained that you're doing the whole street so we get the tar on the seal coating. Do contractors have a weight limit on their vehicles in the city? Yes, they do. We answered that. Every effort's made that the weight is stayed per ton for what street they're on. Can 4-wheelers travel the city streets? And they can, as long as they're properly licensed. We answered that. And as an observation, a person thought the cars were going 40 miles an hour on 9th Avenue North between 3:30 and 6. We're gonna patrol that a little more, but that's only an observation at that mile per hour. 4 indication sign for the stop signs at 8th Street South and 4th Street South. It's faded where it just says 4-way stop. Stop sign is okay, but just a little white thing. So if we can take a look at them, the white sign below. And I said, well, if it's 4-way stop, you still need to stop. Even if it doesn't say 4-way below, you still stop at the stop sign, obviously. Compliments were received dealing with the maintenance of the park system, with respect to the youth using the park system, of the neighbors out there by Memorial Park. September 5th, the reminder, and anybody wants to add this, we're having an open house here at the community building from 4 to 6 with MnDOT dealing with the 2016 project. I don't know if anybody wants to, you spoke a little bit about that, Molly, yesterday, so September 5th from 4 to 6 here at the community building. Everybody should come to that. City will be contacting residents in regard to their small cities home fix-up, and Molly spoke about that earlier for this program. Lots are for sale in Mayberry Hills, and we have 20, how many left?
How many left? We have 8 sold, 22 total, and hopefully 9 sold.
Yep.
We're working on the 9th, so.
So 14 left, approximately. Code enforcement, hot topics were mowing the lawns, garage sale signs, and rental inspections. They'll be coming up next month, I think, right? September for rental inspections. All of the applications should have been sent out, the notices, excuse me, for that. They were sent out like a couple of weeks ago. And you sent out, what did Bill say, 71 letters in the last 2 weeks for lawns and
Right.
other stuff? Okay. City cleanup was mentioned, and we said that we haven't done it for 3 years. We're not planning on it for this year or next year, but we will look into it as an alternate for our bid package for what comes up the end of this year for the next 5-year contract for garbage service. But it won't be like it was in previous years where we're going up and down everybody's street. It'll be probably a point of drop off if we do that, but we're not gonna know until after until the new contract is submitted, is left for 2014. Thanks to the Stray Cat, again, as always, for free coffee, Linda chocolate chip cookies, excellent, so pretty good turnout. And invite council members to come to that sometime if you got a break. Super Fair Foods, I wasn't pointing anybody. Ian, Mike? Lonnie? Josh? Steve?
No.
Mark?
No.
When do you start seal coating?
We started this morning.
Today, very good,
Yep.
okay?
We had a little mix-up yesterday, and between myself and the county, and we didn't get oil ordered, but we got going today, and I'm going to encourage everyone to get their vehicles, their boats, their trailers, and everything off of the streets that haven't been seal coated. We're running into a lot of parking that we're having to tow and bang on doors, and people don't answer the door when you bang on them until after the tow truck is hooked up, and then they come out just a screaming. So I'm encouraging everyone, if your road has not been seal coated, don't park on it until it's done.
I think you got some spots yet, you're still filling in tire, there's a couple of them yet around today, like on Second
On the south side of town, yes, there are some patch holes open, but we won't get back to them until next week.
The seal coating's done,
Yep.
very good.
And we'll start picking the seal coat rock up Monday morning, so.
That's gonna be enough time that it gets embedded in, Ray?
Yep.
We have a lot of questions each year about, we're not leaving it there long enough to get embedded into the.
Yeah, no, you've got about 48 hours and the oil's cured, it ain't gonna bed any further, so.
Very good, okay. Anything else, Ray?
No, we did try a new product up on the north side for about 300 feet on 8th Street North. So if you getting calls in that we skipped some seal coat, we didn't. We tried a new product, and Bargain was over and applied it today, and we're going to run seal coat up, chip seal up to it, and then we'll skip that area, and then we'll go chip seal the other side of it. We're just trying something new. It's a new product out. And
What's your initial synopsis on it?
it looks pretty good. Cost is still a little high, but it has come down a long ways, so.
And what is the new material?
I knew you were gonna ask me that. It's soybean oil, basically.
Okay,
It's a product that supposedly rejuvenates the blacktop, but,
time will tell, right?
that is correct. That's why we wanted to put this test right in the middle of our seal coat so we can watch it, so.
Okay, all right, very good. Thanks, Ray. Anything else?
Nope.
Adam? Jason? Mark?
Nope.
Did I skip you? Did I ask you, Mark, do you have anything? Yeah, you do, or I asked you, right?
You asked for
Okay,
it.
Linda?
The movie this weekend is Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters. It is rated PG. It is a book series. A lot of the kids were asking about it. Our concerts in the park are over. We had our last concert last Thursday night. And if any of you get a chance to come downtown Friday through Monday evening after dark, check out the marquee. It's pretty cool to watch it. The rest, I guess, that's it.
Thank you. Molly? Okay, motion to adjourn. Josh, Mike, thanks everyone for attending. Have a good evening.